What's going on, everyone? Aurora Cannabis has been trading in the wrong direction for the past 3 months. I have the chart pulled up right here. As you can see, Aurora is down 15.6%, and it does appear that the entire MJ sector is taking a beating, and these stocks are just not getting the love they did in early 2019 and late 2018. So in this video, what I do want to talk about, and the one I want to focus on mostly, is Aurora Cannabis. Are these stocks going to turn back around, or has the best days for them, are they over? So we do have to keep in mind, is the turnaround in play for these stocks? Where will they find a bottom? We're going to talk a little bit about upcoming earnings. And really, guys, I feel like there is a two-part answer here. This is going back to making a decision. Are you going to stay long? Are you a long-term investor? Are you simply a trader? Okay, if you're trading Aurora Cannabis, in my opinion, I think it's going to go lower in the short term. You know, the volume has been cut in half over the past month. Where it usually trades around 13 million shares a day, now is trading around 7.5 million shares. So the volume has been cut down quite a bit. These stocks are getting shorted very, very heavily, but just do keep in mind, in 2014, this was a 60-cent stock that is now trading over $7. So well over 1,000% return in 5 years. Like I said, Aurora is up and down a lot, okay? Seems like excitement builds, these stocks run, and then they sell off very, very hard. You know what to do, guys. Make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video. I appreciate all the support. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, and I will be very short, I'm not trying to be preachy, is portfolio management, okay? Now, I used to talk about this a lot in some of my earlier videos, and I do try to remind people quite a bit of this, but maybe I don't put enough emphasis on portfolio management. So a portfolio management, that's the act of creating and maintaining an investment account, while financial planning is the process of developing financial goals, creating a plan of action to achieve them. In this case, I'm sure your assets are spread out widely between cash, stocks, stock options, bonds, and many other equities, okay? But for this video, guys, we are talking just about how much money you have in stocks, okay? Now, for the MJ sector, being that it's still very new and it is very, very speculative, if you are going to invest long-term in the MJ sector, the way I do it, I have less than 5% allocated for MJ stocks, okay? I know a problem I see a lot of people doing is that I see people going all in on MJ stocks, and they're not diversifying out into tech and financials and consumer products and all of the other different sectors. Even gold hit a high this year, and crude oil, of course, is seeing a recovery too. So, and maybe some of you have 10 or 15% invested into the MJ sector, and you're comfortable with that. But the real thing I do strongly want to advise against, guys, do not have 50 to 100% of your stocks in this sector, okay? I think you look across the indexes, and we're making all-time highs on the Dow and the NASDAQ, and so you should have a handful of stocks that are making highs and going beyond their highs day after day right now. And then meanwhile, of course, Aurora, Canopy Growth, and Tilray and Cron are all seeing big losses. So want to make some emphasis on portfolio management. Make sure you are not overly leveraged in cannabis stocks. So right here at the top line, guys, what I really want to focus on is total revenue. Going back to 2015, ACB did not even have enough revenue to report on the books, okay? But by June of 2016, as you can see, they had almost $1 million in revenue. By June of 2017, had almost $18 million in revenue. And then, of course, by June of 2018, so that is 1 year ago, they had $55 million in revenue. Of course, the gross profits, those trends continue along because there is a cost of revenue. And so really what you also want to focus on is gross profit. Now, I can tell you those numbers have increased into 2019 also, but maybe not quite up to the level that analysts want to see them growing. Another big thing to keep in mind, guys, is total net income, where 2015, 16, and 17, Aurora was deeply in the negative, and by 2018, they have positive net income of $71 million. So, cleaning up company efficiency have made a world of turnaround in 5 years' time. But like I said, I still think the numbers they put out are still falling short of Wall Street analysts, and that's why you see these big dips in the stock price, okay? Now, if you want to start looking at the amazing run they had going back to December 31st, where Aurora was trading at $4.96 and then briefly ran its way over $10 by March 19th. So keep that in mind, guys. In 2.5 months, this stock run 100%. You know, even with the growth of this company, it did feel like that was probably a good place to sell. And even in maybe the $9 level, like I said, if you're strictly a trader, would have been a very good place to sell. But what really kept ACB propped up during this time, guys, was getting constant analyst upgrades. A lot of analysts were coming out, initiating coverage on ACB, giving them an outperform rating. I made several different videos, and that continued to push the stock price up in the short term. Now, the last earnings report was very good for ACB, and there's some level of sector control. As the sector sells off, all these stocks tend to sell off a bit. Canopy Growth is another one that has seen a lot of sell-off over the past couple of months. And as a matter of fact, the last video I made about Canopy Growth, I said that I wanted to start buying shares of CGC around $34 to $35, and would you look at that, we are sitting right there. So in my opinion, if you're new to CGC, I think this would be a fantastic time to start buying shares of this stock. And really the same goes for Aurora, okay? I want you to own these two stocks first in this sector, and there's also a couple of ETFs you can own too. Ticker symbol MJ gives you a lot of exposure to the cannabis sector, also pays a very, very nice dividend. And of course, though, it has not been seeing very good return lately because the sector as a whole is trading down right now. And there's also ticker symbol YOLO, Y-O-L-O, and it is actually nearing its 52-week low right now. But just so you can know what some of the holdings are, of course, you get Organigram Holdings, Innovative Industrial Properties, that's ticker symbol IIPR. That's another stock I have taken a lot of interest in, massive growth coming in on that one. Afria, CanTrust, which CanTrust has been struggling so much lately. The Green Organic Dutchman, Village Farms, Hexo, Cara Therapeutics, Canopy Growth, and Aurora. So what I feel like this one does, it gives you a little bit more exposure to maybe some of the stocks you can't buy on, let's say, Robinhood or maybe Webull, okay? Some of these are listed on the OTC exchange and you would not have access to buy them. So just an option to think about. And of course, Aurora just got some pretty big news yesterday. They nabbed 2 outdoor cultivation licenses in Canada. That ACB has received Health Canada license for the outdoor cultivation at 2 Canadian sites. The new sites in Quebec and British Columbia will be used for cultivation research to develop new technology, genetics, and intellectual property for outdoor production. Keeping this going, if you want my forward analysis, I still think the investing potential is definitely here. And I think this company has done everything right to get where they're at right now. Still think Aurora is a grand slam of an investment, even through the volatility. I think there is still just far too many reasons to be investing long term in Aurora. Like I said, if you get time and you would like to go through my personal video library, I've made many different videos about where they brought on Nelson Peltz. And they've partnered with the UFC. They've done so many things to keep building their brand, keep growing, and keep expanding. Let me try to put some final touches on the thought of this video. Is Aurora Cannabis a buy here at $7? Guys, I want you to check and see what your goals are. Are you a long-term investor? Then I definitely think Aurora is a buy here at $7. If you're going to go long on this company, you could probably wait till it trades back down under $7. I do think that is coming very soon because the MJ sector is selling off. As you can see from the 3-month chart, you do get a lot of dips and you get a lot of cheaper buying opportunities. You might want to try and wait for them. As a matter of fact, here just earlier last week, ACB was trading at $6.87 and even got down to $6.77 before rebounding itself back over $7. So you might want to try and make your investments in those $6 ranges. And like I said, always wait for those nice strong dips to make entry points. That's how I always try to do it too. When they're getting hit the hardest, that's the time to be making contributions to your long-term position. Now, let's talk briefly. If you are a trader, do I expect a real fast reversal and turnaround? No, I do not, okay? I think Canopy Growth's last earnings report was so disappointing that it has kind of sunk the ship for the entire sector. And as the traditional markets continue trading up, continue trading to all-time highs, I think this is one sector that's not really hurt by the US-China trade war, and you would almost think that these MJ stocks would be trading up right now. But once all the analyst projections and price targets and ratings have been put in the system, everybody is aware of them, and there's not a lot of activity that is pushing these stocks up right now. I think you're going to see short sellers come in pretty heavily. It would not surprise me if ACB traded back down to $6 even. But again, like I said, being a long-term investor, I would just look at that as another great opportunity to buy on a big dip. Again, guys, just for emphasis, this is not a sprint. This is a long-term run. Aurora Cannabis is up 1,032% over the past 5 years, and we're experiencing another dip. So, in my opinion, this stock continues to run higher, and their revenues continue to increase, and I'm very, very excited about the next earnings report. That's all I got for the video, guys. Go down to the comment section. Share your thoughts and opinions with me about Aurora Cannabis. Be sure to do that. Thanks as always for watching the video, and have a great day.